If you're only here to cause drama, come sit next to me.
If you're looking for the bare necessities, you found them. Hello!
I'm Hunter Harden.
And I'm Papa the Bear. And welcome to the Real Housebears.
PRIDEcast.
PRIDEcast. It's raining man.
Oh.
Yes. Happy Pride.
It is Pride Month, people.
I'm wearing my Beauty Lab and Laser Pride shirt
yes,
today.
you can't see it, but it's got a little rainbow in the plus. I'm wearing my rainbow Gold's gym.
Because fitness is gay.
Only in SoCal, though.
Only in SoCal. Only in SoCal.
That's South Carolina. That's South California.
That's what you get for trying to be sassy.
I know.
Oh my God, we haven't even taken off and it's a disaster.
I've been saying South Carolina a lot lately, and it's irritating. I've been talking about it.
It's blast from the past.
It's a
Blast from the past. Well, welcome back, everyone. We told you we would make it 2 weeks in a row.
We did it.
We did it.
And mostly because I'm booked this weekend in Salt Lake City, people.
Booked and blessed.
Booked
and blessed.
Booked and blessed.
Booked and blessed.
Amen. Make that money pour down.
Make that money pour. Someone needs to make that money pour down on Jen Shaw.
It seems like somebody was trying.
Somebody was trying to make that money rain
Was it
down.
her cousin that started a GoFundMe account?
I believe it was her cousin.
And that got shut down.
Yes, so Jen Shaw's cousin, it seems, started a GoFundMe to pay for her legal fees.
And what was it, like $2,500,000 or something like that?
I don't even remember, but GoFundMe themselves shut it down because of the fraud charges.
Sell like 3 of your outfits, you'll be good.
I mean, we'll see.
I know.
We'll see. You know what? I was thinking the other day, though, I bet you she's really sad without Stuart.
Stuart!
Yeah, I wonder how that is going. They're
not allowed to talk to each other.
I know. I'm so excited for this season to start up.
Oh, my gosh.
Because, we're heavily invested in Salt Lake City. Personally,
yeah,
this whole Jen Shaw thing is dicey, and we're dealing with another dicey situation in Beverly Hills with Erica Jane.
Yes, but you know what? I just showed you today. Leah Black from Real Housewives of Miami, she made a really great post today. She was like, I hope that people are open-minded about Erica Jane possibly not knowing. She's like, the California bar didn't know. The city that has praised him and given him like accolades didn't know. His own practice didn't know. So maybe it's possible she didn't know.
Don't judge someone until you walk in their shoes.
And I kind of feel like Erica Jane is the type of woman that she doesn't, she obviously married an older gentleman she does care about that helped her get her start, but she works hard for all the money that she's getting right now. So I don't think she would want to take shortcuts, especially how illegal it is.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for the best in that situation.
Keep yourself open, but this season is really hard because we already know what's going to happen with the legal stuff and Erica Jane and her husband, but she's been talking a lot about him.
Yeah, I know, I hate it.
And he's like my best friend. He lets me be who I want to be, and I just love that. And
what I wonder is, has she always talked that much about him and they just didn't keep it in the show? Or conversely, was she barely talking about him, but every time she mentioned him, they put it in the show?
I think she talked about him a lot in past seasons and stuff. She praised him a lot.
But I just guess it wasn't so much on my mind because every time she talks about Tom, I get a little bit of a
I do know she has talked about Tom a lot in the past, but it's all about business. Like, he's a businessman. He doesn't futz with all this drama that us ladies are doing, so I don't deal with, he doesn't deal with that from me.
Right.
But she praises him a lot in all of his accomplishments.
Yeah, she does. She has. And this week was also Lord Cohen's birthday, Andy Cohen.
Yes, happy birthday, Andy Cohen.
Happy birthday. Thanks for listening.
I know you're listening.
Thanks for listening. Happy birthday, old friend.
Yes.
So one time I was actually in New York City, dressed like a complete slut, of course.
Every day.
and dressed by a big giant hairy slut.
Every day.
So we were walking through New York City, and walking by me is Andy Cohen walking Waka.
Oh.
And, my breath stopped. My heart stopped, especially because he got a look at me. I mean, we made eyes, and he got this big smile on his face and looked me completely up and down because I was wearing, the shortest shorts and the tiniest little tank top. And it seemed as if got a real kick out of seeing me on the streets. But when you're in New York, and especially when you hang out with other New Yorkers, they're always like, don't talk to the celebrities. Don't talk to the celebrities. They live in New York because they don't want to deal with the paparazzi like Los Angeles and all the fans like Los Angeles. So don't talk to the celebrities. So that is one of my biggest life regrets, that I just didn't stop because... Hello, it's Andy Cohen.
Yeah, I love it when people do it, but I'm not on that level where you can't go anywhere without somebody knowing you. Because earlier in the year, I was working out with Dre of Druther Hardenwood.
Yeah.
And we were at this gym, and Tan France was working out there from Queer Eye.
Yes.
I made eye contact with him maybe once, but I did not go up and say hi to him at all because I just didn't want to be one of those people that are like, oh my God, hi, I'm a fan.
Right.
While he's working out.
Can I interrupt your workout, please?
Yes, but I did try to look really good so that he would be like, I want to go talk to that guy, but it didn't happen.
Well, you know what? I'm not making that mistake ever again. If I see a celebrity that I feel passionately about, I don't care if I'm in New York. I don't care if I'm in Los Angeles. I don't care if I'm in Timbuktu. I'm going to go up and get a picture.
Like, give me a f***ing break, man.
God, I hope it's not some small, tiny woman because you're a big bear running up, scary, and you're mumbling your words.
Well, during
they don't understand bear, and you're going to scare them, so let me go up and be like, hey, big fan, my bear wants to take a picture with you.
During that same trip, I did see Mayor Winningham from St. Elmo's Fire on the subway, and I did greet her, tell her I was a fan, and get a picture with her.
The very first time I ever went to New York, I had a checklist of what I wanted to do. I wanted an overcoat to wear, and I wanted I wanted to go see a Broadway show, and I wanted to go to the MoMA, which I cried seeing the Andrew Wyeth's Christina's World, which is my favorite piece of art. And I wanted to meet somebody famous. And the very last day that we are there, we end up running into Victor Luna and Mondo.
From Project Runway.
From freaking Project Runway.
Mondo All-Stars winner.
Yeah, Mondo won.
Victor Luna, season 6 contestant.
Victor Luna makes the best jackets in the world.
He does
convinced.
We got to hang out with them for your birthday
and
all night
we went
long.
up and talked to him for a second and stuff, and then we walked away because we didn't want to hoard on their fun.
Yeah.
And they ended up coming up to us and hey, were you gonna come back and hang out with us?
Not like us?
We ended up bar hopping with them all
Yes,
night.
it was a great night. And also that weekend, I got to meet a Broadway star.
Yes.
I got to meet Jennifer Damiano, who was in Next to Normal and Spider-Man. And she was in American Psycho at the time. So that was your birthday, and you have great birthdays.
Man, that was an amazing birthday.
Your New York birthday, and then this past birthday with Heather Gay and Jen Shaw and Dre.
It's pretty amazing, My birthday rocks worlds. I mean, there was an earthquake in 2020 on my birthday.
True.
I mean, my birthday, man, it's goal setting.
He's iconic, honey.
It really is. What are we going to do next year? Who knows?
It better be bigger and better.
Oh my goodness. Maybe we can have a live podcast, invite everyone who listens to come celebrate you.
I would tread lightly, but I'm open.
Or maybe a meteor will hit us. I don't know.
Well, let's get into Beverly Hills.
We're going to go real slow, right?
Oddly enough, they didn't have taglines again this week when we were like, hey, we're going to talk about taglines, but we still do
Taglines.
Tagline commentary.
Yeah, they need some love.
You need to know what we think about the taglines.
Yes, of course. Are you kidding me?
You guys have just been chomping at the bit since last week, wondering what we thought about the taglines.
People are like, there's been multiple episodes, and you haven't talked about the taglines. We need to know the Bears' input.
We are so important.
Listen, there are millions of people out there waiting for this podcast to come out. Oh, my
goodness.
So that they could get our input, our wise, very intellectual.
There is so much BS happening right here.
Are you out of your mind?
I tried to stop talking and you
I
just
mean-
kept vomiting it out.
I mean, there's multiple episodes where I can't even say a word.
Let's get into the Queen of Beverly Hills, according to her, Kyle Richards.
This town is a game of chess, but no one's taking this queen down.
The first time that Kyle Richards does not say this town in her tagline, I don't know how I will make it through the rest of the episode.
I did read in some like Italian book, like really old book, like Bible or something, where that is the start of the Armageddon. If Kyle Richards doesn't say in this town.
It is.
I read that in
I think it's in Revelation. Nonetheless, I'm so glad she said this town. I think this is a good tagline compared to her, 11 seasons of this town taglines. I think it's good. I like that she's owning being the queen.
chess is hard.
Like a little Tootsie Roll.
It is.
Chess is very hard.
It is. But, Kyle has never made that kind of admittance. Like, I'm the last standing original cast member. Bow down to me.
Get it, girl. All right, let's move on to Lisa Rinna.
Don't sound so disappointed.
My lips are legendary, and they will never gloss over the truth.
This tagline upsets me greatly. There are so many syllables. She tried so hard to make this work. My lips are legendary, and they will never gloss over the truth. And if you ask me about the truth, I won't tell you about the truth because the truth is in my lips. I mean, it's just like Lisa Rinna. What I did was even more rhythmic than that crazy mess of your tag.
All of those words could fit inside of her lip. Although I can say
Have it
that.
tattooed on
I
her
can
lips.
say that those lips are big.
She put way too many syllables in there, and it makes my skin crawl every time I hear it.
Listen, I'm not a big fan of Lisa Rinna, and I did say I hated her last episode. Hate is a strong word for anybody. I just don't like a bully. Period.
You're so angry.
Fair.
Now, I want to listen to, let's listen to Garcelle Bourrias.
That's right.
I think it's Bouvet.
There's an S in there.
That's French. You speak French every episode.
That's from a different region. That's probably more like southern region. I'm more northern region.
Oh.
Bourrias. Oh, okay. I get it now.
Oh my
okay.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Should we move on to Dorits?
We didn't even talk about it.
Oh my God.
I've been waiting for you to quit laughing.
If you want a starring role in my life, you better drop the act.
I think this is very much Garcelle. I think it makes perfect sense.
She's a no bull
Absolutely.
type of woman. She doesn't play any games. Drop the act, Lisa Rinna. That's basically what she's saying.
Yeah, she is not here for any BS, nor is she going to create any BS. Now we can move on to Dorit.
Let's go to Dorit.
Dress like there's no tomorrow, and then tomorrow, do it again.
I thought this one was cheap, easy. I wasn't impressed by it.
Do you want me to do it in Dorit's voice?
Absolutely.
Dress like there's no tomorrow, and then tomorrow, do it again.
Do I hear, Dory?
Does Dorit make that face when she does it too? Yeah, I didn't think this told me anything about Dorit. We know her and Erica Jane will give us fashion till we die.
Yeah, I know you don't like the multiple hairpin thingies in the hair.
She made the thing happen.
I like it, but Dorit did do it to an
and
very
like 3 years
extent.
ago. So everyone else needs to catch up.
Well, I was going to start doing it 'cause now that I have long hair.
Well, that can be different. The Southern Belle herself, I don't know if I call her Southern Belle, but the Southern lady herself, Sutton.
Anyone who doubts my exquisite manners can kiss my exquisite derriere.
Okay, that's hard to read.
Anyone who doubts my exquisite manners can kiss my exquisite derriere.
Yeah, there's just a lot of like X's in there, and like there's an apostrophe over an E and stuff, and like that's crazy. She has to be fancy.
To be honest with you, I'm pretty down on this season's taglines. I just don't.
I don't think I have one that's my favorite. To be honest with you,
I don't love them. So far, I like Kyle's okay. I think Garcelle's makes a lot of sense. I don't think that Crystal's makes any sense.
Hollywood is full of pretenders, and I slay them all.
Right.
You're slaying all the pretenders? What does that even like Dragon Slayer?
Is there a Pretender song that's called like Slaying or something? The Pretenders, right?
Hollywood is full of pretenders and I slay them all.
She's a new housewife. Come on.
No.
She's
when
a
I
new
hear
housewife.
it, she's like, out of all the pretenders, I slay. That's how I hear it. Like, I'm the great pretender. Slay.
Slay, Pretender. Slay. Well, that's unfortunate.
I think that Erica Jane's is pretty good. It's very her.
The strongest substance on Earth isn't diamonds. It's me.
It's very on brand for
Very on brand.
Erica.
Because she is hard as a rock.
And she's pure elegance and diamonds.
So I thought hers is
She's
good.
expensive with 3 X's.
I don't know really who's my favorite.
I'm going to say Kyle
favorite.
Richards because she sticks to this town.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I'm going to go
there's
with
not
Kyle.
like 6 X's in there and apostrophes and stuff. Like I'm over
It's
it.
so funny that every week you like faux speak French, but this week you've seen some real French and a name in French, and it's like, what is happening? What are these words?
Because y'all are trying to trick me with Southern accents and Southern France.
French.
Yes.
Southern France French.
I'm North. I don't know. Is that better? I think that North is
I
better
don't know.
than South.
Well, the south of France is quite beautiful.
She speaks Northern France. Or not Northern French. She speaks Northern French. I speak
Let's
Southern
stop
French.
speaking about this
Lulu pupu si lili.
and get back into the episode.
Lulu vibaki.
It's like Joey learning to speak French from Phoebe.
Li pupu.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's a lot of li poo poo happening.
This is going to be a long episode. So
I had a really great transition right there.
we are such a good team. High five.
Yeah.
At least we made that connect.
I was saying there was a lot of le poo poo at 11:45 p.m. where we left off last episode.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Did you like that transition?
That was a really good transition. I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
I ruined it up.
That's
I
all right.
ruined it. Messed it up.
We got it in there.
We did.
We got it in there.
This is going to be an interesting episode.
And we start back up again with Crystal asking Sutton, are you that girl? Are you the girl who doesn't see color?
Sutton starts crying.
Sutton, this happened last season too. Sutton cries when she feels anxious.
Oh, yeah. I talk about it a little bit later. About
Oh,
why she
good.
does that.
Yeah, she cries when she feels anxious, when she feels under attack, when she feels left out.
She should win an Oscar for being a drama queen.
But, sometimes have you ever been like so mad that you just cried because you couldn't do anything physical about it?
Every day in the shower.
Really?
No.
I was like, what you mad about, girl?
But I have gotten so mad that I have started crying, yes. But Kyle Richards starts talking about how this whole situation with Garcelle has made her change the way she thinks about everyday life. She actually received what Garcelle was saying.
Right.
And actually took it home with her and is applying it to her own life.
And Sutton is just too interested in speaking her truth to pause for a moment and listen to anyone else's truth.
Yeah.
And this, going back to this whole thing about not seeing color, you know, there was a time when that was the right thing to say.
Yeah.
But Crystal makes a beautiful point of, no, I am Asian. They are Black. They, whatever. Let's just celebrate them for who they are.
Yeah, instead of whitewashing it.
Yeah.
And being like, I don't even see it. I don't see your identity, basically.
Right.
I don't see your culture. I don't see what makes you different than me.
Right.
And, you know, and I think that was a very white term that was created back in the day. It was like, I don't see color.
Right.
When I see somebody of color, I see like the traditions that they have, the different holidays that they have, the different food they have. My God, we have a million different types of languages out there of communicating with each other. Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, and appreciate what's different about everybody.
Now, I don't believe that Sutton is racist.
No, I don't believe
And Crystal doesn't even believe it eventually.
Yeah.
And if you follow Sutton on social media, she hangs out with a colorful crew. Mm-hmm. She hangs out with drag queens and transgender folks and you name the whole rainbow.
And you know what? It does suck to be Southern and automatically applied to be racist. Especially when you really aren't racist, because you're like, that hurts because I don't think any differently of anybody else.
But again, Sutton, you are a privileged white woman.
You have no clue.
Yeah, you
what
don't.
It's like.
You don't get to ask for sympathy right now.
No,
you don't get to ask for sympathy. This is the whole racial conversation happening in our country and hopefully around the world is not about you.
Yeah, I'm loving this season and the opportunity to learn. You see a bunch of TV and shows that talk about this heavy subject matter and what it's like for a different culture, but people kind of get Hollywood glare over their eyes and they kind of don't take it home with them. But this is a reality TV show and you're hearing real time people that are telling their exact stories of what they have gone through themselves. And it's awesome.
I think that Crystal and Sutton are in the same chapter. They're just not on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, does that make sense? Like, they both believe the same thing. For one thing, again, as is a common problem across all housewives cities, people having a hard time being eloquent and choosing the right words and expressing exactly what they mean. Mm-hmm. And then alcohol.
Yes.
Sutton has to weigh no more than 45 pounds. I mean, she's so tiny.
She's very tiny, but yeah, she's not able to handle her emotions very well at all.
No, this is for real. Like, sorry, I get really upset about this and emotional.
And she's like me too. When she gets upset, she's like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I can't take it.
And even Crystal was like, we can't get into this anymore. Like, we don't understand what we're talking about. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's too late. We're not going to see.
So everybody splits off into their rooms. And oh my God, Jaeger.
That sweet little Jaeger. Or his real name is Jagger. I forget you call him Jaeger.
He hid a note in Dorit's bag saying he loves her.
Y'all, every time I ask, sometimes during the day when I'm working and I don't have a single break, I'll ask Hunter to real quickly just like to make me a sandwich or to bring me a snack so that I can like swallow it in between my job. And every time he does it, he includes a sweet little note that says, "For my love bear."
Y'all, this kid is smart as a whip. I didn't start leaving notes until middle school and realized how easy it was and how much you can get from it.
Wait a minute.
Legit. Like, leaving a little note. Like, that kid started doing that. He's not even in elementary school, is he? Is he in elementary school?
Well, they're homeschooled.
He's young as hell, but he knows to leave a note in there so that she's continually thinking about him. And
I had no idea it was so calculated.
Makes her miss him. And that also keeps the favorite.
You know, sometimes...
Like, dang, that kid is good.
Sometimes when we see ourselves in people like Lisa Rinna, that's when we don't like them.
But But legit, when I was in middle school, my stepdad was having a really bad day, my mom said. So I left notes around the house and in his briefcase and stuff of just saying, I hope you had a good day, blah, blah, blah. The next day, he sent my mom to my school with a brand new backpack filled with beef jerky and treats and snacks and stuff. And I was like, right there, I was like, ding, light bulb. I know what I can do to get stuff.
I'm going to choose to believe that there were just sweet notes.
Oh, for you, Bear, it's different. For you, Bear, it's different.
Thank you.
It's different with you.
Did you catch when Crystal called Sutton 20 years older than her and Sutton's only 12 years old?
20's a big leap. Oh my gosh.
Sutton's going downstairs to get coffee while the chef is cooking a delicious-looking breakfast. Garcelle and Rinna come down and join her. Garcelle couldn't find her sleep mask, but somehow she found a real mask to put over her face.
Well, she probably had a face mask. It's one of the face
she
masks.
put it over her eyes?
Yeah, and she'd put it around her ears and just put it over her eyes.
Okay, I was like, where did she get like a comedy and tragedy mask? What kind of mask did she?
No, not like a Michael Myers mask. No, she found a Michael Myers mask and put it over her head and fell asleep.
I was like, what kind of mask is she wearing over her eyes?
You are so crazy. But yeah, some people just need complete darkness.
Yeah, well, our room
To
is
sleep.
a bear cave.
Yeah,
we don't even need a face mask.
I need to have a TV on, but even that's barely acceptable. And then we cut to Kathy.
Kathy!
With her 8 pillows and her fan to sleep, sneaking into Kyle Richards' room.
Well, first she goes into Sutton's room.
Oh, was it Sutton's room?
Well, first it was Sutton's. And Sutton was naked in her room. And Kathy's like, were you looking for a fan? I have my fan. And Sutton's like, I'm naked.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was Kyle's room.
No.
And she just kept walking in when she was like, no, I'm naked.
And then she went over to Kyle's room. And that's where we get the best part of the entire season so far.
I was very iffy about Kathy being a housewife. She is gold.
I want Kathy to have her own spinoff.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
I saw a meme today that said give Kathy and Sonia Morgan and one other person their own show. I can't remember who the third person was, but I was like, oh, I'm all over this. Kathy Hilton is the best part of the show. I hope that Kyle Richards is okay with it, but I think that Kyle is enjoying Kathy's popularity.
I identify with Kathy so much. What did I pack on my trip to Dallas this last weekend?
A fan and a pillow?
Yes. And if we go to a hotel room, what's the first thing I do? I call the front desk and ask for more pillows.
But you are eating chips in bed, but are you drinking a Red Bull at 1:05 and reading magazines?
She's like, I'm going to go to bed in 1 minute. And it cuts to like 30 minutes later and she's drinking the Red Bull and she's eating chips. And when she takes that first bite, and do you see her eyes look straight over at Kyle?
But how about that she didn't realize that Red Bull was an energy drink?
She's like, I thought it was just a soda.
And then once she finds out,
she
takes
keeps
another drink. Kathy Hilton, oh my gosh, I love you so much.
Oh my God, I'm in love with her so much. It's 1 a.m. and she's eating chips with her fan, 8 pillows, and a Red Bull. I want to party with
magazine
Kathy.
or she's reading the newspaper?
She's reading a magazine and then 45 minutes later switches to the newspaper.
No wonder she can't see. She's reading the newspaper at 2:00 in the morning in the dark. You can tell that Sutton did not sleep. That you can tell she cried all night.
The second Crystal comes down, do you see that she gets alert? Like Sutton sits up and gets really alerted.
Yes, her eyes are so puffy.
It kept her up all night.
She cannot even hide on her face how bad she feels.
Yeah.
As far as being sleep deprived, a little embarrassed probably.
And I bet she just had to talk about it, get it off her chest because she was keeping it in so much.
Well, the ladies start talking about their plans for the day. And Garcelle in particular, she's like, are you going to make me do physical activity?
I would be perfectly happy sitting here, watching TV.
Are you can I stay here on the couch and watch TV while you all go do this physical activity?
Yeah, my bear, when he's on vacation, he's on vacation. He doesn't want strenuous activities.
But I would enjoy that.
That looked really fun. Sitting down and pedaling with 4 people?
Yeah, like a paddleboard on the lake. A little bit.
Paddleboard is hard. That's core. A whole lot of core.
Like the ones where you do
kayak.
your feet. I was talking about like the ones where you do with your feet, like a pedal.
Like a swan?
Well,
with a couple in there kicking pedals?
Okay, yes. I've never been one with a swan.
That's like Venice.
In Kentucky, where I grew up.
Oh, I grew up in Reno. That's nowhere close to Venice.
They're not created. They don't look like swans. They're just these 2 little cedars that
I know what you're talking
pedal
about.
on, yes.
But let's do a swan.
But nonetheless, Garcelle's like, I really don't want to be outside, and I really don't want to be doing physical activity. Sutton's not too happy about it either, but that comes up later. They start having election talk, and I was so glad that they were all Biden.
And I'm also like, thank God we don't have to go into depth with this anymore because we don't have to think about it.
Well, regardless of anyone's political views, just whatever side you're on, a Trump conversation is always exhausting.
And plus, I'm just done talking about elections.
So I was glad that they were all in one accord. I was glad because, that's not the same way in the other cities. The Orange County ladies are infamous
Dallas,
Ramona, and a few others in New York. So I was just glad that we didn't have to have a political conversation.
Because we don't need it. We don't need to.
Right.
But Lisa Rinna was fired by Donald Trump twice. Good.
Right.
Good.
She was. I used to love. I have to admit, I used to love The Apprentice.
Well, back when he was just a reality star, not somebody that's leading our entire nation.
Well, she said that he was different then.
Yeah, that he was different.
Kathy's still not awake.
Oh my God, Lisa's confessional look. Her hair pulled back in that pink outfit. She looks like a badass businesswoman.
La 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 la.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, do you remember?
Does she get? Does she have a businesswoman special?
Like 3 of them.
She should have. She's not going to eat 3 businesswomen.
No, but she's going to demand it. She wants to.
Unless those businesswomen specials are a martini glass that are empty with just like 1 pill in each glass. That's her businesswoman special.
But no, she looks really good, and I really like that outfit.
Oh, wonderful. Look at you saying something nice about Rinna.
Listen, I said I
Growing
hated
up.
her, but you know what? I'm going to give credit where credit is due.
Okay.
I'm not biased.
Okay. So again, Kathy's still not awake. Everyone's trying to leave by 11 o'clock. And then Sutton pulls Crystal aside to clear the air.
Sutton does not know why she acted so emotionally. And I can. Oh, well, you're emotional and you're drunk.
My problem was she started off with an apology, but then went, but it was really rude of you to ask me, are you that girl? And again, you don't get an apology right now. This racial conversation is not about you. Mm-hmm. And you interrupted Crystal. You were rude to Crystal. So don't give me, it was rude of you to be rude back to me.
I'm going to point this out later on in conversation about Sutton, but she picks things to be a victim about.
Oh, yes, we are definitely going to talk about that. We are definitely going to. But I think Sutton's biggest thing is, like, she doesn't want to be canceled. I think that's one of her big things.
That too, but also if you're friends with a lot of people of color, you're passionate about it. Like, I do not say that I'm racist. That's offensive to me.
Right.
But Crystal told her side of being Asian and growing up as a child, and told that horrific story of her dad getting gas and her sitting in the car and somebody comes by and screams at them to get out of their country. Like, that's terrifying for a kid.
Absolutely.
And
it was terrifying for her dad.
I never think that. Yeah.
I have to admit that I grew up in a very Caucasian neighborhood, went to a very Caucasian school.
Me too.
So my love for people of color was my desire to be around people that were different.
Yes.
That's what I always wanted. I wanted to be around people.
Yeah.
I always, even though I'm pretty as white as they come, I was always very different. And so I enjoy the rainbow. That's one thing of what I loved about coming to Utah. You know, Utah has a reputation for being very Caucasian, but when you're in Salt Lake City, it's very colorful.
It's so different.
And that's what makes me so excited.
I
But
think everybody should travel to different parts of the United States and live or just spend more time there to get culture.
Yeah.
Understand that your world is not the only world that's out there.
Yes, to read for sure. So, but I guess what I was trying to say is I was aware that racial prejudice existed against Asians, but I was surprised at the huge uprising most recently.
Yes.
I think some of it has to do with, COVID supposedly coming from China.
I think that's the biggest reason.
But why
people want to be
surprised me
prejudiced.
that now Asians are being killed for hate crimes.
Yes.
And I guess I just wasn't aware of that happening as much before.
It's ridiculous. And I was just at my barber today and he was worried about us being at Pride because he doesn't want anything bad to happen. Like some crazy person running into a crowd with a car, anything that could happen. But that's something we don't want to worry about or really other people have to think about. But everybody's world is so different. They have to worry about different things. That's why I'm loving this new cast. I'm loving this learning curve that all these women are going through. And for myself, I love it. But you know what I really love? Love that Crystal was named after Crystal Gale.
Me too. Crystal Gale is actually important in my life.
Me too.
Really?
Well, not important in my life, but my older sister wanted to be just like Crystal Gale, and she was growing her hair out so long. And when it got stuck in a door hinge, and my family was trying to get it untangled and out of it, and I don't know why everyone was panicking over it, so I just went and grabbed the scissors and cut her hair out of the thing, and everybody started crying. Everyone flipped out. My sister started bawling, and she had to cut her hair short after that because I cut such a chunk out of it. But I learned from that I don't help people anymore.
Looks like you're not gonna get any more hugs and kisses.
Well, my mother and her late husband, Hal, who raised me, when they met, that song was playing.
Aww.
And that was their song. And so I heard that the song was Fill Me Up to the Top. No, don't you stop. I don't know what the Half the Way was the name of the song. So I heard Crystal Gale and that song in particular my whole life. So I that was really sweet for me too. And then Sutton explains that because she's Southern, people assume she's racist, so poor her. Again, I understand why she's defensive about it, but in this conversation with Crystal, you gotta quit making it about
We're gonna have a lot to talk about her.
In the end, they cleared up, they hug it out. Sutton's not a hugger. She's like, I'm not a hugger, especially to strangers. I'm like, she's your castmate. You're bonded for life now.
Listen, she has something to focus on every single time, and I'm over it.
You cannot rationalize with irrational people.
So before we get into the van and head to Gardnerville.
Oh, yes.
Yes, let's take a quick Pride break.
A Pride break?
Yes.
What's a Pride break?
We're going to go dance and do shots of Fireball.
Yuck. All right, we'll be right back.
Bye.
You guys, I have to go to the bathroom.
What?
Hey, welcome back.
We're back. Woo, just got done partying.
Woo-hoo.
Pride party.
Pride.
Cheers, Mama. Cheers, baby. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yay.
All the women are getting into the van to head to Gardnerville.
We find out that Kathy Hilton is the ultimate prankster.
Yes.
Crystal tells everyone in their van that, if you've been pranked by Kathy, you are in.
You're in.
You are in. And then in the other car, they're having completely different conversations.
Everyone has to pee.
Everyone has to pee. And then they pass through a town called Gardnerville.
I know where that is.
Do you know where that is?
I do know where Gardnerville is. I had no idea it has the most fugitives living there. Or whatever she was saying.
Yeah, they said that it's the largest fugitive population.
Hot. They finally get to V and T Railway.
Hallelujah, we made it.
Garcelle and Sutton were like, do we have to be in shape to do this?
We find out that Sutton was a dancer.
Yes. Though I can see it. I can see it. Those pictures, the flashback pictures of her being a dancer were beautiful.
Yes.
She does have very thin legs. So I believe it. I believe it. But she's not looking forward to this type of exercise.
Yeah, this little mobile, little mini train, whatever this little vehicle is, seems really cool.
I want to do it.
I would love to do it, but I don't want to be in the stupid Gardnerville desert. All you see is, oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, that's dirt. Oh my gosh, oh, that's more dirt. Oh my gosh, sagebrush.
I didn't even
Oh my
pay
gosh, is that a
attention.
tree? Oh no, that's a dead tree that's been dead for like 50 years.
I did not realize that. I didn't even think about them just being in sand, pretty much.
There's nothing to see. Did you see the view? There was no good view.
I didn't even pay attention to me. I was too busy. Like Sutton and Garcelle were like, we cannot go more than 1 mile an hour.
Sutton, especially.
They were both in a mat. Kyle didn't seem to mind it so much, but Sutton and Garcelle were like, no, no, no.
I don't want to do this. I really don't.
Which car do you want to be in? The fast car or the slow car?
The fast car.
Me too.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Well, I want to be somewhere in the middle, but assuming that the fast car for these ladies probably isn't like terrifying fast.
No.
I think, Erica and Dorit like a little bit of speed, but even Dorit driving that crazy car the other week, I'm like, they probably drive like Lisa Barlow. Crystal is competitive. Surprise.
Very competitive.
Surprise, surprise.
I know, right?
I'm like a freak show.
Sutton's wearing a really beautiful look in her confessional with this black, maybe silk blouse, and her hair is in an updo, but she has the completely wrong earrings with it, and it's upsetting me. They're these big, clunky earrings. They're way too big. They're the wrong style. I'm not okay with it. And I'm sure those earrings cost $2,500 a piece.
You get them.
I don't like this at all.
Right, Erica and Dorit and their team, they're like,
I love my girl!
let's let it go. Don't even put on the brake. Let's have fun.
That's kind of like a metaphor for how the Housewives show is. It's like it's downhill, no brakes.
That is good. And then Kyle's like, guys, can we speed up a little? Like, they're in another state now.
We can't even see them, and it's flat desert everywhere.
And so after the trip on the way back, Garcelle has to take a nap. I'm like, Garcelle, you were in the back seat. Were you even pedaling?
I mean, you're out there in the sun. I mean, it
Too
wears me out.
much. Didn't she have to like do a tribal dance in Coming to America? I mean, come
She
on,
probably
Garcelle.
took naps in between.
Maybe she did. Maybe it was just people dancing around her. I don't know. But I'm like, come on, Garcelle.
Well, while she's sleeping, Sutton and Crystal get to know each other, and then boom, Sutton says that her dad committed suicide. I was like, whoa.
Well, first of all, her mom is from Charleston, South Carolina.
Love Charleston.
Beautiful. One of the most beautiful
Love it.
cities in the entire country. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a big bomb to drop. And then her mom was a psychotherapist. I think that therapists probably have a really hard time dealing with their own emotions.
Yeah.
That would be tough.
Let alone their children's.
And then Crystal lost her father to Alzheimer's.
A slow death.
That's rough.
That's rough.
That's rough.
Both of it is rough.
Yeah.
I don't know what is better to deal with, watching somebody die or having somebody die too soon. Like, that's hard.
Either way, that was rough for them. And you would think that it would bond them, but I don't know. It looks like Crystal and Sutton don't have too bright of a future together.
No.
They arrive back to the mansion in the woods
Kathy's up.
Kathy!
because she put eardrops in her eyes. Maybe even lash glue. We're not completely sure.
Okay, this is where I figured out who she is.
Who is she?
She is Mr. Magoo.
Oh, come now.
But I don't know how she's stayed alive by herself this whole time.
Well,
She can't see anything.
she's always got her husband or probably a team of people there to take care of it.
I mean, she's gonna use a cheese grater to as a face wipe one day. She's gonna put rat poison in her drink and thinks that's iced tea. Somebody save this woman.
I mean,
from
really,
herself.
I really don't know. I don't know how she's made it all these years.
And she spilled coffee on her shirt.
And then when Kyle first of all, Kathy's out in the hallway talking to everybody about it. But then when Kyle gets there, she gets embarrassed and runs into her room.
Off.
Kathy's like, Kyle's like, let me see.
Their relationships is weird. I don't know. She's always complimenting Kyle, and like, I guess it's because it's like,
I think it's great. I think they have a great relationship right now. Yeah.
She's just hyper focused on her sister.
Well, which
for this whole time I thought it was her aunt.
Did you see online? Did you see online this week where Kathy didn't even know what TV station that the show was on?
Yes.
She's like, yeah, what channel is it on? My friends have been asking. Kyle's like, what do you mean, what channel is it on? It's on Bravo. Are you serious?
This poor woman. Somebody help. Help her.
And Kathy has not quite figured out this fourth wall situation when she looks right at the camera.
She can't see anything. How is she going to see that fourth wall?
But she looked right at the camera and reacted. She's like,
She is the most unique character. Any housewife.
She's so good.
I love her.
She's so good. If there's people who are enjoying Kathy Hilton on this season, then they're just...
I don't get it.
Their heart is dead, because that stuff is good. Sutton has these very expensive bear slippers. Mm-hmm. Like, I've had bear slippers many times in my life that I got at, Spencer's for $20.
She got it from the vets. She got it from the vet.
She got it from the vet?
Yeah, some animal, right? She said vet and Mott's or something. The vet, I don't know where Mott's is. But she said she got it from the vet and Mott's.
I think that might be a brand.
Oh. I thought it was like dog or something.
Someone killed a real life bear and
brought it in. Brought it into the vet, and they're like, "Well, what are we gonna do? Well, let's get all the fur." And they're like, "Let's make some slippers and make some money for this vet office."
No, that was a fancy clothing or shoe company.
Oh, that's Vent the Mom stuff. Okay, you have to say
anyway, those slippers were $2,000.
They're $2,000.
Is anybody surprised Sutton wears her money? Is anybody surprised?
You're right.
I mean, honestly.
You're right. Dorit lays down for a nap. I'm like, Dorit, where have you been these seasons? Where's episode 3 in? And we've barely seen her. We've barely seen Dorit. And other than some really great confessionals about Switzerland, I mean, I need some more Dorit. And I never thought I would hear myself say that. But man, she's good TV too.
Oh my goodness.
Kyle and Paris Hilton and Kyle's daughter all look like the same person. Mm-hmm. And then since Garcelle looks like Kyle, that means she looks like Paris Hilton.
Yes, that works.
And then she tells the story about how Paris used to really annoy her. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's not a good choice of words.
To talk about somebody's children. Good thing this isn't New Jersey. You get clocked in the head.
You don't talk about someone's kids because you're going to get physically hurt.
Don't talk about anyone's children and don't use analogies.
But dang, I loved hearing an insight on Paris Hilton.
I knew that about her.
I forgot that. I know I remembered it somewhere, but I completely forgot. So basically, Garcelle didn't like it that she always had her phone up during any event, but it's because she was so introverted and she didn't want to talk to anybody. She stayed on her phone the whole time and was shy. And I was like, I identify with that.
I didn't know that that's one way that she avoided paparazzi and avoided crowds. So when I heard that, I wasn't surprised by it.
Okay.
And in that documentary that was out about Paris, maybe on Netflix, not that long ago, I watched that. It might have come up in that as well. But it was a nice lesson for Garcelle to learn.
You don't tell a black girl that twice, honey.
Yes.
It's nice lesson for Garcelle.
This is a show for learning and growing and experiencing.
And sharing.
Sharing and holding. So the ladies are getting ready for the night.
They are getting dressed for dinner. They are getting dressed for dinner.
Just to the nine. What's her name calls Harry with a beard?
Rinna?
Yeah, Lisa calls her husband. What's his name? Harry Dubin? Harry Hamlin. Harry Hamlin. He has a big old white beard.
He does. That they've been in the news this week as well. You know, years ago when Kim Richards was like, let's talk about your husband. I've been reading this week that everyone, I think it's somewhere in Canada that Harry works frequently, that everyone there knows that Harry Hamlin has relationships while he's there, that it's an affluent town with rich people, and everyone knows what's going on, and it's just common knowledge that Harry has relationships there.
Well,
and that Lisa and Harry's relationship is on the brink.
Oh my goodness.
I hope not. She seems to really love him, so I hope not.
Kathy looks like she's drunk trying to get ready.
Kathy!
Kathy always seems drunk.
She looks like she's always coming off of a bender or something. Like she's kind of looking at something, but she's looking so much further past it.
Someone get her some glasses.
And somebody help her.
But first, Garcelle gets stuck with Rinna
again. Stop
And
being early. That's our biggest issue is we come to every event too early.
This was the most uncomfortable small talk yet. Look at that beam.
That's
a big old beam.
That's quite a beam.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen beams in my life, but that's quite a one.
And then Crystal wears this like sheer blouse that has like this feather fringe in the weirdest, the most strangest places.
I saw that in a lot of like Native American outfits. It's
right at nipple level?
Yeah, it's placed in nipple level and it goes down to...
Well, she had one at nipple level and then one higher.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just a style, I guess.
It looks strange to me.
It probably does. It probably wasn't...
feel uncomfortable.
Okay, well, then that's not the outfit for you, sweetheart.
But there's a really sweet view of the ladies all walking into the restaurant together with their fancy shoes.
Yes, all of them together. Like,
that
here
was
comes
hot. That was hot.
Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop of all of those stiletto heels.
And they have to sit at separate tables like they did on New Jersey because of COVID restrictions.
Yes.
But they're just excited to be at a restaurant. You know, California was really locked down compared to a lot of other states. So they're like, hallelujah, I'm at a restaurant, someone else is cooking my food.
Oh, man, imagine
public.
being in that restaurant sitting right there with that. We're like, oh my gosh, those are the ladies.
Kathy starts it off with a really lovely toast before the food comes, but these ladies are hungry.
On top of not being able to see, Kathy also can't hear anything.
No, she can't.
Somebody help this woman.
And Kyle's like, Kathy, why don't you move down here by me? But I think it was also, Kyle mentioned that like she feels protective over Kathy. This is a new experience for Kathy. She wants her to be well received.
I get that.
Or Kyle is the veteran. So I thought it was really sweet being the protective little sister.
Yes. Everyone is starving. Sutton talks about her chat with Crystal and how being Southern, you have to prove that you're not racist. We've covered that.
Lisa Rinna took 15 years to decide to do some lip makeup. She's been hawking stuff on QVC for years, and she never thought that her claim to fame, her lips, should be her moneymaker.
Doesn't she have wigs, too? Like the Lisa Rinna wig?
I don't think she has her own line, but you can get a Lisa Rinna wig.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Dorit is so well traveled.
It's giving me a Lugano, Switzerland vibe.
That she doesn't equate Southern people with racism.
Hold on. I, as myself, Dorit, I don't see that. I don't notice that Southern people here are considered racist. I have traveled so many places. I could tell you all the places that I haven't been easier. But I can tell you this, I've now been to Tahoe.
Do I hear, Dory?
And it's just like Switzerland. But maybe because Erica has lived in such multicultural cities, that's why she doesn't carry the same stigma that Sutton does. And Sutton's like, what? Are you saying that I'm not cultured? Are you insinuating that I'm not cultured, well-traveled? How dare you insinuate that I'm not well-traveled?
How dare you?
Sutton is so easily offended.
It's annoying.
It is.
I'm over
not gonna
it.
lie, it is annoying, and so is everyone else.
Oh, and yeah, I'm over it.
Crystal doesn't understand why Sutton can't just have a conversation without cutting you off and overreacting about what she thinks you're saying, or what she thinks they mean.
Yeah, it's
Crystal is over Sutton.
Crystal has pulled Sutton's card And she's like, all right, that's who you are. I know. You have given me multiple chances to get to know you, and this is all
you keep showing me your hand, and it's a sucky hand.
It's repetitive.
Kathy gets an extra martini so that she and Dorit can, like, bottoms up, drink the whole martini.
That made me sick.
She's like, I'm on a girls' trip, and I'm ready to have a good time.
I remember the first time my friend got a martini, an extra dry martini, and I was like, oh, I want a sip, and I didn't take a sip. I took, like, a little gulp. That took my breath away.
The other women at the table were floored.
Did you see Erica Jane's face? She's literally...
She's like, do you know how bad you're going to feel tomorrow?
What's that, Erica Jane?
And then Kathy's like, let's wait a minute, and then we'll bottoms up another one.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, sister.
It was freaking me out because I know how strong martinis are, and I was like, somebody's going to get carried out, or somebody's going to poop on the floor like Ramona.
And then, Erica addresses the, like, do you know how drunk you are? And Dorit's distracted by a text.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what tomfoolery is approaching
Well, I
us?
just assumed that they were talking about Sutton like the previews were insinuating.
Oh, yes?
So Dorit then convinces Rinna to bottoms up with them, and then Erica joins in. All of these women who were blown away a minute ago are now joining in.
Mm-hmm.
Then we find out Kathy Hilton, the prankster,
strikes again.
She strikes again. She's only drinking water.
But this time, Dorit is going to try to prank the prankster and get everyone else to drink water, but make Kathy think that it's all martinis.
So Dorit texts Erica. Erica texts Rinna. Mm-hmm. And they all are like, let's get Kathy.
Yes, let's get Kathy.
But Sutton thinks that something's up. Everyone's in on it except for Sutton. But really, Sutton's not in on it, Crystal's not in on it, and Kyle's not in on it.
No.
But Sutton thinks that they were making a joke about her.
Ugh.
Maybe they were talking about her skinny legs. But again, she's really not so offended about what the joke could have been or what was happening. But she was just left out. She was left out.
Yes, she felt very left out. She did confirm that her legs are very thin. So you were right all along, Bear.
I know.
This whole season.
So Garcella's over it.
Yes.
Garcella's cranky, and she doesn't have any patience for Sutton. And so now Sutton's crying, and she's going straight to bed.
Yeah, she has to announce to everybody that she needs to go to bed.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what happened. Honestly.
But then Garcella was like, were you all texting about Sutton? And now Sutton's mad about that.
Yeah, and they're like, no, that's not what we weren't talking about Sutton. And then nobody knows what's happened. And then she goes on to start blaming Crystal about the inside prank because she kicked her. So automatically Crystal's the bad guy because she created this prank somehow in some weird way.
Sutton has never been tapped, subtly, so that someone could tell her something on the aside. No one has ever tapped her with their foot and told her not to ruin a joke.
It's disgusting and it's offensive for somebody to do that. I mean, did you see everybody go, oh my gosh?
Yes, everyone thinks that she's being ridiculous. So now, and I know this is what you're going to want to talk about. So now Sutton starts picking apart everyone so that they can be the bad guy.
Yeah, so basically all the women in a row in front of Sutton explain exactly how this prank went down and that it had nothing to do against Sutton and it never left her out. So then she doesn't have anything else to be upset by. So she's now upset with Crystal about the leg kicking. And now she's going to pick apart anything else anybody else did or said in either reaction to what Sutton did, or anything. She's going to focus on that. And we've met somebody like that before, and you can never win.
Deflect.
Ouch, deflect. Yeah, victim. I'm a victim. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, everyone thinks that she's ridiculous. Crystal has no patience for it. Sutton's going to her go-to, and she's going to bed.
Oh, my God. So Sutton says,
I am a grown woman.
And Kyle grabs her by the arm and says,
Then act like one.
And I was like, seriously, you came out of the car crying, making a big speech, and being upset about something you shouldn't even be upset about, and you're going to say you're a grown woman? Yeah, she is just very insecure, and she's a huge attention seeker, and the way she gets attention is becoming a victim. It's just like Munchausen syndrome.
Right.
It's like, oh, I'm sick, you need to feel for me. Oh, I'm hurt, you need to feel for me. To be honest with you, that's not a great trait.
And then 45 minutes later, Crystal's talking about what a maniac Sutton is.
To her friend on the phone.
I was like, who's she talking to? Is she on the phone? Is she talking to her husband? I had no idea.
No, they said her friend.
Oh,
it just said her friend.
Okay. She feels like Sutton is like coming after her. She feels like Sutton is losing her mind.
By the way, this whole time this whole conversation's going, Kathy is sitting right there, and she was the butt of the whole joke, and she's not fazed by it at all.
She's not really quite sure what's happening. She's really not
she's
quite
not.
sure what's happening.
She has no clue.
She tries to repeat the story, and she has it all wrong.
Yeah.
She has no idea what happened. And Kyle just laughs at her.
Crystal apologizes, but Sutton's just like...
No, first... Sutton's like, oh, here's Crystal's coat. Let me go up to her room.
Oh, yes.
Here, 45 minutes later in the middle of the night.
And she's like, because that's what a polite woman would do. And I'm like, no, that's what a desperate woman would do for more attention.
So we end the episode with Sutton knocking on Crystal's door while Crystal's on the phone talking about Sutton.
I was so nervous that she was going to stand there and keep listening to her conversation.
I was too. I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Oh my gosh, me too, because it would have started... Well, actually, I kind of do wish it would have happened.
But that happened a lot in New Jersey this past season of people standing outside. It happened and maybe even in
It happens once in a while in every single season.
Yeah, so I was glad that it wasn't stretched out.
I love it that when they are then, after that, she goes in there and they kind of brings her the coat or whatever, they're sitting there talking about how Crystal kicked Sutton in the car, and Kathy goes, wow, she must have really long legs.
No.
She's like sitting 2, maybe maximum 3 feet next to her.
Kathy thought that Sutton was sitting in the front and Crystal was behind her.
Kathy's so funny.
Like, Sutton's such a dancer that she can take her leg over the seat and tap in the back. Or Crystal, or whoever.
Crystal, oh my gosh. But Kathy, she's such a... Like, if I'm having a really bad day, I'm going to go talk to Kathy because she'll say some crazy nonsense. It's going to completely distract me.
She is delightful.
Love, love, love.
Kathy!
Well, what is also delightful is that you can come see Hunter Harden around the country coming up this summer, especially during this month of Pride.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them where you're going to be, Hunter.
The life of the rich and famous.
If only.
Yeah. So my next event is this weekend, June 4th and 5th at the Sun Trap here in Salt Lake City. What? And then I'm going on to Phoenix, Arizona for Cobalt, June 13th. And then I'm on to Denver, Colorado at Summit for June 25th during Denver Pride. And then San Francisco, California at Public Works, June 26th, the very next day, because they have their Pride on the same weekend. And then I'm going to Akron, Ohio for Interbelt, July 3rd. Then I'm going to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma for Paradise, July 8th through the 10th, and my Housebear will be there too.
I'll be there.
And then I'm back here in Salt Lake City, Utah for Bearvasion, July 15th through the 17th.
I'll be there for that one.
And then this September 3rd through the 6th, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida for Bear Week.
I wish I was going to be at that one.
I know.
I also wish that you all would follow us on social media. On Facebook and Instagram, we are The Real Housebears. On Twitter, we are Real Housebears. And you can email us at therealhousebears@gmail.com.
We are also on YouTube at The Real Housebears, and we post little clips and stuff of our shows, videos. And we're also wherever you listen to podcasts. And if there is an area where you can review or rate us, please give us an awesome review and a 5-star rating.
And tell your friends to listen.
Yes. Please
when
spread the
you
word.
are at the Pride Parade this weekend.
Get your boombox. Play one of our episodes.
Rent a float.
Yes.
Or like a truck trailer.
Yes.
Just, get a piece of cardboard and write the Real Housebears on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then plug it into the loudspeaker to the Pride Parade.
Yes. I mean, there's those really religious guys that sit there and say being gay is a sin. Grab a microphone.
Grab their microphone.
Yeah, put our episode on and just play it. Be like, this is scripture.
You'll be saved.
You will be saved by the Real Housebears.
Someone save me from the end of this episode. Thank you all for listening. Have a great week.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Y'all ready for this? It's on.
Are you ready for this? It's like at every single sports game. Oh yeah, testing 1, 2, 3. That's sports too. If you see, 1, 2.
It's Pride Day.
Pride Day. Gotta get down on Pride Day.